PNR Networks is a member of Patreon. Show your love for our shows by joining our ongoing fundraising campaign and get some fantastic perks in return. Check it out and become a Patreon sponsor. You can sign up at patreon.com, patreon.com/PNR Networks. And thanks for your support.
She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Do you ever feel like you're normal and the rest of the world has lost its collective mind?
Put your helmet on. We'll be reaching speeds of 3.
Do you find people saying this to you a lot?
Are you totally deranged?
Are you looking for a looking glass to pass through?
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Or looking for a rabbit hole to fall down?
Who could think of a better punishment, really? Everything's the same here. It's just a little worse.
Guess what?
Life's a bitch. Now so am I.
You've found it. Welcome to Platinum Rose's Garden.
Well, hello, my darlings. This is Platinum Rose Lady welcoming you to Platinum Rose's Garden on Sunday, November 26th, 2017. Sorry I'm a little late. You know, it's the whole end of the month, end of the year craziness that goes on, you know. I hope everybody had a really nice Thanksgiving who celebrates. My Thanksgiving was very cool. Me and TC went to my sister's place, you know, for the whole family get together thing, you know, and that was really nice. It was great seeing my sister and her kids and my mom and my aunt and, you know, everybody else and the 900 other people that showed up because it's my sister's house and she can't have a party without, you know, half of the state showing up. But that's cool. That's who she is. She's a born hostess, my sister is. She really is. So that was cool. The coolest thing was we got to meet their new dog. They have a new dog. Well, it's new to us because we've never met him before. And he's super cute. His name is Buddy, and he's super cute and fuzzy and soft and likes to play. He gets a little bitey. When he gets excited, he gets a little bit bitey. I think we kind of wound him up and got him too rambunctious and stuff because we were playing fetch with him and stuff like that. And it's really funny watching a little dog play fetch on a hardwood floor. I don't know why, but that just cracks me up so bad. It's, I'm mean that way, I guess. No, he didn't hurt himself or anything, but they get so worked up, man. They have so much energy. You're like, damn, I wish I had that kind of energy, the way the dogs have that energy. It's so crazy. So hopefully, I didn't see anything on the news recently about anybody killing themselves on Black Friday, so that's a good thing, obviously, because, I mean, that whole thing, I don't get it. I don't get the whole thing. I don't get the whole Black Friday thing. I really don't get it. I mean, we were coming back on Thanksgiving, we're driving back home, and, we actually made 2 pies for Thanksgiving, so Dean would be very happy with us. We made pie. We actually got to bring the pie home with us, you know, because they had enough leftovers, and we're like, we'll take it back. And we're like driving by stores and stuff, and there's people outside, you know, waiting to go shopping on you know, Thanksgiving night. And I'm just like, what? I mean, I don't get it. I don't like shopping. That's my other, that's another way that sometimes I have to look down my shirt and go, yep, I'm a girl. I don't like shopping. I hate clothes shopping. Hate it. Tack 50 more hate it's on there and you have a thumbnail of how much I hate clothes shopping. You want to see the fastest woman shop in the history of ever? Put me in a clothing store and said, go shopping. Because I'd be like, is it black? Does it fit? Gimme. I'm out. Done. Boom. Mic drop. I'm finished. I hate shopping. I hate it. I mean, if you put me in a bookstore, that's different. You'll never find me again. Because I'll just go off and find a corner and, you know, you won't see me again for hours because then I'm happy. Just put me in a bookstore, put me in a library, you know, I'm happy. But, you know, clothes shopping, blah, oh, fuck that shit, no. And the idea of going to a store on Black Friday or doing any of that Christmas shopping stuff when there's like 9 million people in a store. Ugh. Oh, I cannot deal with that. I would rather slam my hand in a car door. Seriously, I would. I am not making that up. It's not that I will be honest and say it's because I do have a thing about crowds. I don't do crowds well. In certain situations, if I can see a window, I'm fine. If I can see out a window, I'm fine. If I'm in a room where there's a big crowd of people and everybody's all squished together, I hate that. I can't deal with that. But that's just me. And I know other people love shopping. I know people who are like, oh, I love shopping. It's an adventure. It's exciting. And I'm always like looking at them like, seriously? You have heard about sex, right? It's like, I don't know, skydiving, running with the bulls, whatever, but shopping, that's exciting to you. It's okay, whatever, no judging here. Don't get it, but whatever. So, like I said, I hope everybody had a really awesome Thanksgiving, and now we're in the holiday season, which is, very exciting, for those of you who have, are people of faith, which is awesome, whatever your faith is, which is cool, although I have to be honest, and this is going to sound kind of bad, I've mentioned before being Catholic, and because being Catholic and being a Christian around Christmas, that's a beautiful thing, and we're supposed to really embrace that. And I do embrace it. I embrace the whole idea, but it's the whole trappings. It's the whole stuff, man. I can't deal with that. All the stuff, all the, and I can't deal with, I love Christmas music. I do love Christmas music. I don't love some Christmas music because they play it over and over and over again, to the point where you're just like, okay, I think I have to go stick my head in a sink for, I have to go stick my head in the ladies' room sink and just run the water. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. Just come get me in a few minutes when the water starts running out the door, under the door. Don't worry. I'll be fine. But anyway, so here we are. At my show again, which I hope you're enjoying. And I would like to, I actually decided that this week I'm going to break things up a little bit and not crash right from one segment to the next. So, without further ado, here's this week's fanfic of the week. All right, and here we are with this week's fanfic of the week. Now, obviously, I do love to talk about fanfic because I am a fic writer, and we all love fic here of all different shapes and colors and sizes and whatevers. This week's fic is from the Marvel movie universe. It is called Memos from S.H.I.E.L.D. This fic is available on Archive of Our Own. You can go over there at archiveofourown.org and look it up in the search engine. Look it up under the title Memos from S.H.I.E.L.D. The author is a person called, their pen name, I'm going to screw this up, I'm sorry. It's all in lowercase and it's all run-on. Their name is I Did Literally Nothing Today. Let's hear it for honesty. Yay! This person, this writer, has written a bunch of fics for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Comics, and Captain America. They're obviously make mine Marvel type of person. Memos from S.H.I.E.L.D. is just what it says it is. I'm going to read you the little blurb thing. Quote, based on the wonderful Memos from Q Branch by the even more fabulous Avia Carter, a good look at the behind-the-scenes going on of the well-oiled machine that is S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers, showing that it is not that well-oiled and that Director Fury is 1,000% done with everyone's shit. The Avengers fic that uses way too many exclamation points you never knew you needed, end quote. There are, hold on to your hats, kids, there are 69 chapters of this bad boy. It is very OOC. It is very out of character. But at the same time, it's actually in character in certain ways. And it is one of the fall down, fucking funny, hilarious, nose cola causing moment fics I have ever read, ever. It's going through so many milestones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in such a twisted, weird, hilarious way. Referencing stuff from the Avengers, from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, a little bit of Marvel Civil War, and it's got everybody involved. And it is screamingly funny. It is also slash. There is a lot of slash. So if that's not your cup of joe, I can't see how you'd be reading fanfic, but whatever. So that's the fanfic for the week. Memos from S.H.I.E.L.D, which is available on archiveofourown.org. Look for that in the search engine, or look up the author I Did Literally Nothing Today. All pushed together, all lowercase. And if you read this incredibly insane and hilarious work, please leave the author some love and some feedback. There hasn't been any work done on it since May of 2017, real life and all that other crap. But it is hilariously funny, and I mean it. I am not fucking around. Do not have, a drink or be drinking while you are reading this, because you will shoot cola, coffee, tea, water, whatever you're drinking out of your nose, and it will hurt. It is killingly funny, ridiculous, off-the-wall, goofy, and just made me laugh out loud till I cried. So that's this week's fanfic of the week, and that's going to take us right into our Supernatural episode recap. Hang on.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head.
Season 13, Episode 7 of Supernatural, War of the Worlds, then is dealing with one of the most gut-wrenching things we saw in Season 12, Mary Winchester being pulled into this apocalypse universe by Lucifer when he fell through the rift between worlds, and Mary and Lucifer being trapped on this horrible earth, this earth where Sam and Dean Winchester were never born and they never saved the world, and the world is this desolate hellhole that has been torn apart by warring angels and demons. We also have a look again at the last prince of hell, Asmodeus, who is looking to get a hold of Jack, the son of Lucifer, so he can set him on the throne of hell and have as I think it's Asmodeus. I guess it's Asmodeus. I'm sorry. Have Asmodeus as his trusted advisor. And Jack the Nephilim, the offspring of Immortal and Lucifer, who was living with Sam and Dean and Castiel, and how he was trying to find out who he was. Also, the other Michael, the other Michael in this apocalypse world, who is very much not dead and very much has plans for Lucifer. And the last thing we see in the then segment is what happened last week when Jack, after accidentally killing a man, decides that he needs to find out on his own who he's supposed to be. And after knocking Castiel, Sam, and Dean to the ground, Jack has fled the bunker. And now we are at now. And we see Lucifer, prisoner of Michael, and he's being held in an Iron Maiden. And I don't mean with the rock band, the old-fashioned torture device Iron Maiden. Lucifer goes through a speech where he's talking about God and his most incredible creation, Earth, and his most incredible creation, people. And Lucifer actually gives God some grudging credit. As it turns out, that was all stuff that Michael was pulling out of Lucifer's head. And Michael, having seen the other Earth, thinks that that's a place that he belongs. That's a place he should be taking under his wing, for lack of a better term. And when Lucifer starts mocking Michael's plans, it gets bloody and screamy very quickly. We cut to the Batcave in Lebanon, Kansas. Sam's on the computer and Dean's stressing. And they're both stressing, really, because there's been no sign of Jack, no strange, occurrences, no, really crazy things happening that they could track down to being caused by him. Castiel is going to talk to an angel that he knows about Jack to see if the angels have heard anything. Dean wants to go with him, and Jack says no, he's going to go. Cass says no, he's going to go alone. You can tell Dean is not happy with this idea, and really neither is Sam. Sam is also not really happy with the idea of just sitting around waiting to see what happens. As it turns out, Dean might have found them a case. The case involving 3 people who were tortured and killed, all in a very similar way. Dean pulls up photos of the crime scene and points out something to Sam, which Sam immediately identifies. The person that was killed was a witch. In fact, all 3 people that were killed were witches. And whoever killed them not only tortured and murdered them, but ransacked their places. So whoever is out there cutting a bloody swath through the witch population of North America is looking for something as well. As Modeus can't find Jack, and now knows from one of his demon servants that the Winchesters don't have Jack any longer because they've heard scuttlebutt that Jack is not under the care of Sam and Dean anymore. In the apocalypse world, it turns out that Lucifer is, going to be used by Michael for something, although he's not entirely sure what. It turns out that it's for a ritual being performed by Michael's prophet, which is this other world's version of Kevin Tran. And I have to be honest, seeing Kevin for a second, my heart kind of, did the odd flutter, because Kevin's just such a little kitten. But I was like, instantly, that's not our Kevin. That's not our Kevin. Because he seems almost eager to help Michael. And Michael needs one more thing for this experiment to take place, which is Lucifer's grace, which he takes from him. Doesn't take all of it from him, because Michael has a plan. Michael's plan is that they're going to find a way to the other Earth. All of the angels, from the sound of it, are going to go to this other Earth, and Lucifer will be left on this Earth alone. That's Michael's plan, at least so far. We cut back to our Earth, and we see Sam and Dean in their Fed suits. Dean's on the phone with Jody, and they're obviously talking. They've been talking with the police at the most recent crime scene. And Sam pulls up on his tablet some really startling footage. The footage is of the last victim. It's obviously on security camera or traffic cam kind of a deal, of this person, this woman being followed into an alley before she was kidnapped, tortured, and killed. The thing is, the man that's following her looks really, really, really familiar. It looks like a bearded version of Arthur Ketch, which instantly, sets Dean's hackles way high. The Winchesters wind up being approached by a young woman who gives her name as Daniela. As it turns out, she is a witch, and she's asking the Winchesters for help. Now, you know shit's gonna be pretty bad if a witch is going to hunters and saying, yeah, hi, help me. You know, that's not a good thing at all. In the apocalypse world, Kevin performs the ritual, and it works. I shouldn't sound so surprised. I mean, that Kevin obviously could be smart, although he's more than a little bit crawly and more than a little bit creepy. His ritual does work, and he creates this rift between the apocalypse world and our world. And the rift is open long enough for Lucifer to break away from his guards and jump through it, which instantly slams it shut. As it turns out, the rift can only hold one person at a time. So Lucifer is back on our Earth. Something that I don't think would be a cause for celebration to anybody with 2 working brain cells, you know. But the thing is, he doesn't have his powers, or at least his powers are extremely low. That's what happens when your grace is taken from you. We see Asmodeus and his demons torturing and then murdering the motel clerk from the motel where Sam, Dean, Cass, and Jack had been staying on one of their previous cases. And after he's finished torturing the guy and has the guy killed, Asmodeus is struck by this wave of power, which he's not entirely sure. He thinks at first it's Jack, but when his eyes start to glow yellow and he smiles, you get the feeling it's not Jack. He knows Lucifer's back. Daniela takes Sam and Dean to this little cabin in the woods. That's probably the worst choice of words I could have used. Sorry. Bad me, no cookie. It turns out this is kind of a safe house for witches, because they need that, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a kid from the suburbs. As it turns out, Daniela, when the Winchesters question her about, you know, how does she know so much about this person and why should they believe her and all this other stuff like that, as it turns out, the reason Daniela knows about this person, this person that looks a fuck ton like Arthur Ketch, is because she's escaped from him. Barely. Her throat slightly under her throat, where your throat meets your chest, is a complete fucking hornet's nest of scars. He kidnapped her, and she was able to get away because she was able to get free and cast a spell. But when he was torturing her, he was asking her about Rowena, asking her questions about Rowena. She is shown the guy's picture, and she says, yeah, that's him. She's basically like, you have to hide me, and Dean's basically like, no, we don't. Dean has a plan. Yay. So, you know, if Dean's got a plan, it's probably going to involve some collateral damage. So we cut to that evening. Daniela is sitting kind of nervously, looks like she's casting a spell or doing card reading or something. And in this cabin, she winds up being attacked by a gas canister being thrown down the chimney. When she hits the ground coughing, this person kicks the door open with a gas mask on and sprays the room with bullets before they are hit in the throat with a tranquilizer dart, which sends them to the ground. Sam runs in, grabs Daniela, gets her to the doorway so she can get some fresh air. Dean walks in and takes off the man's mask, and it's Ketch. We come back, and Ketch is, or whoever he is tied to a chair, has had the living frog snot beat out of him already, and is being interrogated by two very pissed off Winchesters. Something that I don't think anybody wants to have happen to them, you know. Dean gets a couple more incredibly brutal shots in before this catch says who he is, or says who he claims he is. He claims that his name is Alexander Ketch, that he is the twin brother to Arthur Ketch, that they were both members of the school that produces the British men of letters, but that he couldn't go through with the final test, the final exam that you were supposed to go through to graduate to being a British man of letters, which was to kill somebody, to kill a friend. He claims that he fled, and he's been fleeing ever since, hiding from the British men of letters because they'll kill him if they can find him. He tells them that he does what the Winchesters do. He kills monsters for a price. So he's not a hunter, he's a mercenary. And I'm sorry if there was kind of a bitter, judgy sound in my voice there, but fucking deal, it's my show. We cut back to the Bat Cave in Lebanon, Kansas. Sam, who's been working on his laptop, has found a pretty long and pretty clear paper trail leading to the fact that this person is who they say they are. He's found all kinds of IDs, all kinds of other stuff, things from the academy showing that both Arthur and Alexander were going to that school, but that Alexander's stuff was never completed. Sam's starting to wonder if this guy's actually telling the truth. Dean is of the opinion, 3 words, fuck that noise. He is convinced that is Arthur Ketch, but what he can't figure out is how Arthur is still alive, because Mary shot him in the head, and he and Dean and Sam threw his body in a drainage ditch. Should have burned that motherfucker, boys. Sam talks with Alexander. Sam's kind of looking like he's not quite as convinced as he was before, although Alexander seems to be, he's saying kind of all the right things, I guess. I don't know what you'd say in that kind of a situation. But he is saying that he feels like if Arthur was still alive, maybe he would apologize for the things he put the Winchesters through. Which could either be projection, or this could be total bullshit, and it could be Arthur. Sam's really not entirely certain. We see Castiel meeting with the angel that he was going to talk with about any news about Jack at the place where angels get to heaven, at that playground. It's a female angel named Duma. And she tells Castiel what the plans that the angels have for Jack if they find him. Now, I figured the plans that the angels would have for Jack would be that they were going to kill him. I figured they'd be just like Abomination, Smite, and that be it. No. The angels have another plan, and somehow that plan is even more like, what the what? Than killing somebody who is as sweet and kind and lost and adorable and huggable as Jack. I'm sorry, it's that whole maternal instinct thing. The angels are planning to use Jack in some kind of experiment or something to create more angels. Duma tells Castiel that since the fall, there haven't been any new angels created since, creation, when the angels were created by God. And now that God has left to go explore the galaxies with Amara or wherever, and that a lot of angels died during the fall, that they don't they're running out of angels. Angels are becoming extinct. And the angels that are still in heaven have this plan to find Jack, bring him to heaven, and use him to make more angels. And how in the name of Cheese Whiz that's supposed to work, your guess is as good as mine, my children. I don't know. Castiel is, needless to say, like, I am not helping you do any of that. No, absolutely not. To which he's attacked by Duma and a few other angels, and he winds up being rescued by Lucifer. That was the weirdest sentence I've ever said in my entire life, and I've said some really fucked up shit. Lucifer does the whole, I'm Lucifer and I'm scary and flee me and my eyes are flashing red and, you better go or I'm going to smite you kind of thing. And the angels leave, because they're not stupid. The thing is, Lucifer almost immediately collapses because his power is very weak, which is something Castiel figures out very quickly. Although Lucifer tells Castiel that, they're in danger and there's a very good chance they could all, as in everybody, the entire universe, wind up getting killed. We see Castiel and Lucifer talking while they're sitting in a tavern bar kind of a place. It's not a friendly discussion. It's not two brothers chatting over chicken wings and beer. There's a lot of you killed me, you stabbed me kind of talk back and forth. And Castiel, and as I said, Castiel and Lucifer talk, and Lucifer tells Castiel about the other Michael and his plans and what he wants to do. And Lucifer says, to fight back against Michael, they all need to band together and work together, at least for now, and that they need to find his son. To which Castiel is just so exasperated that Lucifer's only looking at his son as a weapon and practically shouts at him that his name is Jack. And I was waiting for Lucifer to be kind of like, say something snarky and nasty about the name, but he actually was kind of like, he seemed happy with it. He seemed like he liked it. He decides that he wants to know more about his son and they need to find him, and quickly. Castiel tells Lucifer that Jack is nothing like him. And now Lucifer also knows that Jack is no longer under the protection of Sam and Dean, although he didn't think much of Sam and Dean protecting Jack anyway, and that Jack is apparently, off in the four winds somewhere. We cut back to the Winchesters, and Dean finding out Dean gets a call on one of their backup phones, and has to go into Fed voice mode. He's talking to the main manager of the motel that they stayed at, who tells him that his night manager is missing, and describes the man that came in asking questions as an evil Colonel Sanders. And it's really amazing how quickly the writers got that in, considering the fans only came up with it kind of recently. So Dean and Sam now know that Asmodeus is also looking for Jack. We see Alexander, who is just kind of walking around the Batcave in chains. I mean, he's got chains on his hands and on his ankles. Kinky. Eating a sandwich and being very calm about being up and around. Sam's like, there's no bathroom in the armory, and and he hasn't eaten for days, and Sam's just being all his usual wonderful, sweet, adorable self, and Dean is like, fuck you! Dean is really looking at him like, are you on fucking crack? He is not happy with his brother at this point. We see Cass getting in a very brief phone call to Dean before Lucifer grabs the phone and shuts it off. The guys use the phone, though, to track down Cass and try and, search him out. They leave Alexander behind at the Batcave. But the problem is the quiet of the bar doesn't last very long, as Asmodeus and his demons show up. And I kind of thought that maybe Asmodeus and Lucifer might be all, maybe Asmodeus would be like, oh, my lord, and be all, my lord Lucifer and all that stuff. Nope. That's not happening. Asmodeus can tell that Lucifer is not as powerful as he should be, and it's not a happy reunion by any stretch of the imagination. And as the lights go out in the tavern and outside, the sign dims. The sign, which is Nick's, which I was like, that's cute. Those of you who remember, that was the name of Lucifer's first vessel, and the one that he's currently walking around in. We see the Impala pull up outside. Sam and Dean get inside the building, which is completely dark, and they're doing the whole back-to-back flashlights out, guns out, and all that stuff like that, and that's so damn hot. Oh, it's so hot. And they are, after looking around for a second and thinking they're alone, they wind up being attacked by the trio of demons that Asmodeus had with him. He obviously left them behind. And it's a hellacious fight. It's a really good fight, but it's not really going terribly well for the Winchesters until they wind up being saved by Alexander, who, as it turns out, picked the lock and followed them in a motorcycle that he stole from the Batcave. And that chirpy situation instantly goes to hell in a handbasket when Dean picks his gun up and turns it on Alexander and calls him Arthur. And as it turns out, this is Arthur. The whole Alexander thing is not accurate. Although Ketch does tell them that what he said was true, except for the whole twin brother part. Ow. He is on the run from the Men of Letters because they will kill him for deserting, and he is working as a mercenary, killing monsters for money, and he does use the name Alexander. So it's sort of true-ish, maybe, in the same room. Is there a reason you're not in politics, Ketch? Really? Of course, Sam and Dean are like, how in the fuck are you alive? They saw, Dean saw his mom shoot Ketch in the head. They threw his body in a ditch, and he explains how he is alive. The reason he's alive is because of Rowena. Several years ago, Rowena was held captive by the British Men of Letters, and while she was held captive, probably using it as a bargaining tool to get away, Rowena did a spell to Ketch that we know Rowena did to herself at least once, way back when Lucifer in Castiel's body, once he got out of the cage, when he snapped Rowena's neck, and we thought that she was dead, but it turned out she wasn't because of a backup spell that she had in her body. It turned out that she gave the same thing to Ketch. And once the Winchesters left his body, it activated at some point, and here he is back to life. The problem is that this spell, apparently, once the spell is cast, it's not just, hey, I'm back and alive, who's ready to go to Denny's? You have to have the spell recharged. I don't know how often, but you do. So that's why he's been out there torturing witches trying to find Rowena. To which Sam and Dean have the delightful task, and you can tell Dean's really enjoying it, of telling him that Rowena is dead, that she was burned up by Lucifer. I really hope that's not true. I hope somehow Rowena comes back. I miss her. But Ketch manages to get away by tossing down a smoke device, kind of like pulling a Batman kind of a deal. And he flees out of the building but gets shot on the way out by Dean and manages to get away on the motorcycle. We cut to Sam and Dean in the Impala, and Dean getting a call from Castiel saying that he has a lead about Jack and where he is. The second that we hear Castiel's voice, though, I'm like, that's not Cass. And it's not. It's Asmodeus speaking in Castiel's voice. Castiel is a prisoner of Asmodeus to be used as bargaining if anything happens with the Winchesters. And he's also kept Lucifer alive. By the way, I always assumed all this time that they were in hell when we see all these scenes. They're not. I didn't realize that. They're in a place in the Needham Asylum, which I was like, whoops, sorry. For so long I thought that was hell. Sorry, my bad. In Fall River, Massachusetts. Woohoo! So we know Cass is a prisoner, and we know Lucifer is a prisoner, and we also now know that Asmodeus has someone else now working for him, and that would be Ketch. Because Ketch has told Asmodeus about the whole thing about Michael, the whole other Earth and the invasion that might be coming, and Asmodeus has decided he really needs to get his hands on Jack. And Ketch, all bandaged up, minus the beard, tells him that he doesn't have to worry. And the episode ends. This episode was directed by Richard Speight Jr., one of our most favorite people in the whole wide world. I give War of the Worlds 4 bouquets out of 5. I thought it was a really cool episode, really pushed things along. I was happy to see Osric Chow. I was less happy to see Kevin, because it's not our Kevin. It's not my little squeezable Kevin that I adore. But Osric is very squeezable. Hi, Osric. The whole Ketch thing, I was like, an evil twin. Wait, who is the evil twin here? I'm not really sure. But I love the way it got resolved. I was like, damn, that is just damn. I was really, really, really impressed. And David Hayden Jones, oh gosh, David, you do such things to me. You do. Anybody who remembers the 80s as well as I do will remember a song by Joan Jett called I Hate Myself for Loving You. You are the embodiment of that song, David. You really, really are. You are so amazing. I'm so glad you're back, simply because you're amazing and a terrific actor. I don't know what's going to happen next. All I know is I'm super wicked friggin' excited about what's going to happen next. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens next, which is this week's upcoming episode of Supernatural, The Scorpion and the Frog. Interesting title for an episode. We know that there's some sort of a heist involved, and that it also involves a collector of supernatural things who is aided by two people that he calls Smash and Grab. Kind of 60s Batman-ish kind of thing, but what the hell? I'm game for anything, really. And that, my darlings, is going to wrap things up for another week here on Platinum Rose's Garden. I hope that you guys will come and check out the other shows that I am involved with on the interwebs. Those would include Subject Cinema, which is our movie podcast that me and TC do. We have a lot of fun, and we hope that everyone who listens has a lot of fun too. This week we've got a ton of reviews, including reviews for Justice League and Coco and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which has a very cool supernatural connection, but I won't tell you what it is. You have to go see the movie. And I hope you will check that out. I hope you will check out our other show that we do every week together, which is a fun show called Front Row 5 and 10, where we have our count-up show. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. There are parts of our little family that are out there, also our little podcasting community, which would include Cavebabble, which is Eric and Valerie, the lion family, and their kids and grandkids and meter readers and dog walkers and whoever else they can get to come and talk on their show. They are very funny, very nice people who do a lot of great stuff talking about movies and music and games, and Cavebabble eats odd things and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Comic Grotto with Aunt B and Pee-wee right now is not a podcast, which is a boo-hiss kind of a thing, because they're really smart and fun folks. But they are still blogging, so you can check them out as well. I hope that if you like my show, that you will subscribe to it on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you'd like to subscribe. I hope you will hit the like button so people will know you like it. And I hope that you will share my show with other people if you know other Supernatural fans that have never given me a listen and would like to listen to a show where a nutcase with an open mic rambles on for who knows how long. Hopefully, let's hear it for truth in advertising. Hooray! I hope you will do that and share my podcast with them, and share the other podcasts that are part of our family if you know people that are into movies and stuff like that. And I should also mention, Catastrophe Vortex, which is TC's solo show, because he is a disaster movie junkie. And if you know people who love disaster movies, you definitely want to listen to his show, because he is wicked knowledgeable and knows all kinds of cool stuff about disaster movies. So if that's your bag, check that out. If you have any questions, comments, queries, complaints, money, chocolate, anything, Jared Padalecki's phone number, whatever. Just kidding on that last one, because that's stalking, and stalking is bad. If you have anything that you'd like to send my way, please send it to platinumrosel@yahoo.com. Put PRG in the header, and I will know you want me to read it on the air. Or even if you don't want me to read it on the air, if you'd like to just send me a comment, let me know how you think I'm doing. And that would be really cool too. So, this is me, Platinum Rose Lady, signing off for another week. And I hope everybody has a great week out there. Real quick, I want to say a quick happiest of birthdays to my best friend Stacy, whose birthday is at the beginning of the week upcoming, and she is an awesome person and completely mental and just a great all-around fun person to be with. So happy birthday, Stacy. And I hope everybody out there has a great week and stay safe. And this is Platinum Rose Lady signing off, reminding you to love the ones you hug the ones you love, take some time to stop and smell the roses. Bye.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.